All right, Gorgeous Georgian goes back with another MMA superstar. His name is Myles Jury. He fights for Bellator. He is a lightweight. And it's good catching up with you, Myles. It's been a long, long time. And it was kind of fun to research you and see what you've been up to since we haven't chatted since you were actually with the UFC. So anyway, first off, how you doing? And again, thanks for agreeing to do this interview today.
For sure, for sure. I'm doing good, man. Just got back from Florida from the UFC event the other day, and now just right back into the gym and just working out.
Yeah, and so I wanted to ask you. I mean, I looked everything up. 31 years of age. Your birthday's Halloween. You're 18 and 5. You have 13 finishes. Blah blah blah. We're gonna get to that. I'm not discounting any of that. However, what's blown me away is you might have one of the coolest YouTube channels out there out of all the fighters that I've kind of dabbled in that world. So this is what I mean. For one, you got 23,000 subscribers, so you're off to a good start, but your views are rocking. You know what I mean? There's people that have 400,000 subscribers, but they'll only get 10, 40, 80. They don't match, and you're actually outdoing it. So you're doing a great job. It's very, very compelling. You're opening up. Great job, my man.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. And yeah, that's I've always wanted to start a YouTube channel, and I just always talk myself out of it. And man, I kind of got to that point where I was like, dude, I need to do this before before I get older, before I die, man, because I'll regret it. And man, I like finances, real estate, and mixed martial arts. That's what I know, and that's what I've been doing. So I thought, what a cool way to connect with fans. Hopefully, inspire some people, educate them, and that's what I'm looking to do on YouTube.
That's exactly what you did, my friend. I want to open one. I'm not open one. I want to start one, and I think I'm going to do it within the next 7 days. So 1 week, I'm going to do it because you've inspired me. I've been wanting to do it for a while, and I just, haven't gotten around to it. But I mean, like I say, I feel like our show. We've done a lot we've done a lot of shows like this in the past 13 years. We got some cool stories, and we want to start sharing them. But again, I was just blown away. So MMA fans, check out Myles Jury's YouTube page because he really, really opens up. And here's the thing, Myles. The one that really, really caught me was um, the fight that you talked about versus Ramsey Nijem and how much you made, and you broke it down. That's stuff that fans and media have always wondered, and we kind of have some ideas here and there. So that was really, really cool. And you were pretty detailed. I did want to ask you though, the manager you were with in 2013, is he still your manager now?
No, nope, he isn't. I parted ways with him in like 2016. So yeah, so I've had new management for the past 4 or 5 fights.
Okay, who's your manager now?
Dave Martin and Randall.
David. Oh, right. Yep, Vegas guys. I know them. Okay. And your previous manager, was it a gentleman named Ryan? We won't say his last name, but was his name Ryan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. No, I remember a little bit of that. If I'm not mistaken, you and Jeremy Stevens may have had the same manager or something like that. And for a while, we actually couldn't get you on the show. He wasn't clicking with our site. I don't think it had anything to do with Goes and I. We're the radio show, we're the radio side or anything. But anyway, it was just kind of cool to really kind of go down memory lane a little bit about you because you had a lot of promise, and you still do. You have some really, really good skills. You're with a good team. You're still 31 years of age. I think there's still a lot you can definitely accomplish. But I'm going to confess something to you, man. And you kind of touched on it. You kind of touched on it on another video, and that was regret for not fighting as much. I had heard, and you tell me if this is true, that you were just a little difficult to deal with. Is that what that meant about, like, you turned down fights because you were on vacation or you were with friends or something like that? Was that or you tell me?
Yeah, it was timing. A good part for me, but I mean, at the same time, man, I just when I came into the UFC, I was under an Ultimate Fighter contract, so I was getting paid yearly, meaning like if I'm making 10 and 10 to fight and I win, which I did, I was on a 6-fight winning streak. It doesn't matter, my pay didn't go up. So for example, when I knocked out Ramsey at 10-10, I was still making 10-10 for the rest of the year. So my pay wasn't going up. And when UFC would be like, bring me back another fight really quick, I was just kind of like, dude, I'm on vacation. There's really no incentive financially to take it. I'm out here, basically I was hustling outside of the UFC. I was doing seminars, making money outside. So I was just kind of like, there's really no incentive. I was like, dude, I'm only getting paid yearly. I'll be back. I'll fight basically when I feel like fighting. And that's kind of how that went. And looking back on it now, there was some good opportunities that I could have seized, but the mind frame I was in at that time, man, I was just like, dude, you guys aren't really paying me much at all, anyways. I'm not going to rush to take on another killer for 10 grand and 10 grand. So I was just like, at the end of the day, I was like, I'm gonna move on a fight, but I'm gonna do it on my own pace. So yeah, I could have been a little difficult to deal with from the UFC standpoint because I know they love guys that jump up and fight at the drop of a dime. And man, I mean, just being honest though, I really didn't see the incentive. I was building my name, coming off big wins. I wasn't getting paid anything, so I was like, I might as well just enjoy this win streak, make some money on the outside, and kind of go at my own pace.
Now you see, Myles Jury, that I love this interview already because it's clearing a lot of things up. Back then, they didn't have 600 athletes. They weren't doing 42 shows per year or whatever they're up to now. Maybe they had 300, 400 or whatever. And everybody talked. And I've always subscribed to there's two sides to a story. But when I hear your side, it kind of makes sense. You know what I mean? But I guess I let that maybe just sink in. And because we weren't able to really talk to you much back then, it just kind of stayed with me. And that's why I was fucking, excuse my language, I was mesmerized and flabbergasted. I was like, this guy's really coming off good on YouTube. Like, this isn't the dude I was hearing about all these years. Like, this guy's opening up. He's being honest. You admitted faults, in those 3 regrets. It was awesome, man. It was really, really awesome. So I'm glad this catch up, will work good for our MMA Junkie radio audience.
Absolutely, man. And that's one of the benefits of YouTube and why I love it so much is I can be creative, I can be vulnerable, I can connect with my fans, and I can do it at my own pace. I can do it my own way. And for me, I'm actually very introverted by nature, and just having YouTube, it gives me a chance to open up, connect with fans, and doing it in a way that comes across genuine for me. As an athlete, as an entertainer, everybody's got their own gimmicks, their own styles, and everything. And I don't know, man. I just really felt like with UFC, I just really didn't match up with what they were looking for. I do think my own way. I'm stubborn in certain ways, but with YouTube, man, I can come across. I can express myself, get creative, and do it the way that I choose to do it.
Yeah, so folks, I'll say it again. Check out his YouTube channel. You'll really, really like it. In fact, I'm just going to give you guys it's just Myles Jury, just like his name, MYLES Jury. Easy to find there on YouTube, and I think you guys will get a lot out of it. Now, Myles, talking about your fighting career, the timing of COVID-19 is horrific for many people, but you caught a break in that you snuck in a fight this year, so I guess maybe you're in a better situation than those that may have not fought since the middle of last year. And right now, the doors aren't officially open yet at Bellator in terms of actual events that have been scheduled. So how are you holding up? And what do you want to do? I mean, you came back. You're now 1-1 with Bellator, so you're riding the momentum of coming off of a win. But how do you want to approach, I guess, the next set of 3 fights, 5 fights? Do you have that type of forecasting? And do you have names? How do you want to, tackle all this coming up?
Yeah, great question. So when I beat Brandon Gertz back in February, man, it just worked out perfect that as soon as I fought Gertz and beat him, literally the whole economy shut down. So I was literally in a position where I had a good chunk of money in the bank. I'm coming off of a win. I was kind of letting my body rest anyways and just chilling. So the timing, thank God it just worked out for me for everything that's going down. And I seen it firsthand, man. My best friend and one of my training partners, Jeremy Stevens, I seen him have to go through a camp with all these obstacles, all this adversity with the fight's on, it's not on, it's back on, it's not on. Okay, it's on, but we're gonna go to Florida and it's gonna be no audio, like just all these different things that I've seen him train through. And man, he did. He killed it. He trained hard. He championship mindset. He worked through it. But just the timing wise for me, I didn't have to go through that. And where I'm at right now, it's I'm fighting Georgie Kanahankin, and I'm gonna fight him in July. So that's what my management told me. I'm staying ready. I signed the contract, and I'm just looking to go out there, have a great performance against Georgie. I feel like I match up very well with him. I'm more well-rounded, better striker, better grappler, and yeah, man. I mean, that's my next challenge. My goal as a fighter, it's always been to win a world title, and that's what kind of keeps me in the sport, man. I mean, I'm literally fighting for a title and winning a world title. There's like only the two things that I haven't done yet, and I don't want to waste talent. I want to seize these opportunities, and that's what keeps pushing me. That's what keeps motivating me. And next step is Georgie.
Yeah, no, I'm well aware of Georgie Karakhanyan. He's had 2 spells now with Bellator. He even went to World Series of Fighting, and he won a world title there as a featherweight. But this fight will be as lightweight or featherweight? You've been competing as a lightweight lately, right?
Yes, yep. This will be at lightweight. So,
Okay.
and it totally. I mean, dude, like when I fought Gertz, what was awesome was Bellator actually called my management like a week later and brought up Georgie, wanted me to fight Georgie, which that was awesome. A quick turnaround. They already had an opponent matched up, and yeah, it's gonna be at lightweight. So I'm rolling with it, man. I got some momentum going. I'm looking to keep it moving, keep it pushing forward.
All right, and so now back to the timing of COVID-19. Learning more about you through YouTube. Did you go from took off the MMA fighter hat and put on the real estate investor hat? Have you been keeping an eye on that? Because obviously it's going to be sad that it's going to affect the economy in a way where people are losing homes. I don't want to make it sound like, time to feast on that or anything like that. But the realistic thing is that when this happened before to our economy in 2006, 2008, a lot of investors were able to get great deals. So have you already put on that real estate hat a little bit? Is that something you're keeping an eye on? Can you advise us novices when it comes to buying homes? I don't know. Is this maybe a good time to just keep an eye out on the market?
Yeah, absolutely. Timing is everything. And when you're going to invest and you're looking to make money, it's the same thing. Ever since 2012, I've taken all my fight money, and when I fight, I save it, and then I go buy a rental property. I buy it, I put somebody in there, and I make money every month. And I just literally keep trying to stack that. 1 property, 2 properties, just keep it going. And man, nothing's changed. After this next fight, I'm just going to have even more money on hand, and I'm looking to take advantage of whatever comes my way. I mean, granted, I don't wish any bad will on anybody, but the market, it's a free market. It's America, and if prices drop, I feel like we've been in an upward kind of market for the last 10 plus years, and that's just not how free markets work, man. There's ups, there's downs, and I do see a dip in the market coming, and I'm being patient, and I'm looking to find some great investment deals.
All right, a lot of people probably think MMA Junkie has developed a real estate wing to our website, but this is so fascinating. Being able to pick your brain about this. And one more question, then we'll get back to MMA. I'll turn it over to Goes. He's got some questions for you. But where are you looking, Myles? I know California. If you can save up money and invest there, man, you can make some good money when the timing is right to sell. But at the same time, Cali's expensive. So do you go back to your Midwest for your investments? Can you divulge, or is that too personal? Or do you look in Cali and maybe, I don't know, hook a brother up, tell us to give us the lowdown?
Well, first off, man, I could talk real estate all day, so you're not pushing it all. Let's talk about it. When it comes down to real estate, you got to remember there's 2 types of investors. Either there's a cash flow investor, so meaning they're going to buy a property, they're going to rent it out, and they're going to make money every month. And then there's what you call a capital gains investor. So that is a flipper. That's somebody who's going to buy a property at a low profit, or sorry, a low price, and sell it for a profit. So you kind of got to choose whichever one you want to be, whatever kind of game plan you want to be, either capital gains or cash flow. I myself, I love cash flow. I love the Midwest. I love buying affordable properties, fixing them up, making them safe, putting a family in there, providing a house for them. So that keeps me out of California. California to me is an appreciation play, capital gains. You know, you buy at a certain price and then you sell it, hoping that it goes up in value. But to me, I feel like capital gains is just gambling. I don't like to gamble. I like a consistent cash flow, and that's why I buy rental properties that produce cash flow. So to answer your question, I'm looking in the Midwest, but for anybody out there that's interested in real estate, you just kind of got to choose which game plan you want. Do you want to be capital gains or do you want to be cash flow?
Myles, let's talk a little MMA here for a second. Your run with the UFC, I want to stress that that's very difficult to do, to be with an organization for that long, get that many fights. There are a lot of talented people in this world that have not been able to do that for as long as you have. So now over with Bellator, when people talk to you about Bellator, what's the one thing that you can point to them and say, you know what, man, the main difference is blank?
For Bellator, the main difference is control. UFC are control freaks. They like to control everything from what you wear to when you show up to fight week to how you like basically present yourself. If you're saying the bad things, you're going to get cut. If you're basically they just love control. And I noticed with Bellator, it's a little bit more like relaxed. They let you kind of come in, do your own thing. They just want you to show up, go out there and fight well. There's no crazy fight week stuff. There's it's just very, very more relaxed at Bellator. So I like that, man, because I'm a fighter. I'm a fighter. I don't work in an office. I don't like people telling me what I need to wear, coming backstage telling me, you're doing this at this time, basically like treating me like an employee, man. Like, I'm a fighter. I'm the product. When I go out there and I fight, I'm the man. Like, I'm the one that's going out there and doing it. I don't care what the cameraman says or what time, they think we need to be ready and all this. I don't want to hear any of that. Like, I'm the product. I'm the one that's going out there putting on the show, me and all my fellow fighters. And I like it relaxed. You know what I mean? If I want to, act a certain way, or if I want to, walk out at how I want to walk out, like that's just me. And I feel like in Bellator, you have a little bit more freedom with that. There's not people checking in on you all the time. I'll give you an example. Like, when I fought Benson Henderson, Bellator was like, "Hey, at the weigh-ins, show up at the weigh-ins at this time." I did. And then they were like, "Hey, show up to the fight the next day at this time." And I was like, "Okay." And I showed up at that time, and we were cool. Nobody was like breathing down my neck, anything like that. And I just feel like with UFC, it's like there's just a lot more parameters. There's a lot more things you got to follow. And I just really like the relaxed nature of Bellator, and I love it. I honestly, like, Bellator reminds me, like, at least for my last fight when I fought Brandon Gertz, it reminds me of like being on the come up in my hometown at the venue, that same energy. Like, it's just a lot more personal. So sometimes with UFC, it's just so big. It's almost like like such a corporate feel. You know what I mean? Like, when you go to a restaurant or something, you got the mom and pops restaurant, and then you got the big corporation restaurant. And I feel like that's Bellator. Bellator is like that strong mom and pop shop. That's just they come from a good place, and they kind of let you be yourself a little bit more.
That's interesting. If we were to look up and down your record, is there a particular fight that you can point to where you can say that was the best Myles Jury? If I can replicate that camp, the guy who showed up that night, I'm going to be a world champion. What fight would that be?
That would be the next one against Georgie K. That's going to be the best Myles Jury. I'm going to be in the best shape of my life. And, man, I'm going to come out and have a great performance.
Now, you said that it's going to take place in July. Have they given you an idea, like where? California or overseas?
They're saying Paramount lots or the CBS lot is kind of what I've heard
Mm.
so far, and that's in California. I don't believe that though because California is very there's a lot of politics going on. So I would think somewhere else, maybe Florida. I'm not sure yet.
Okay, so that leads me to believe they're probably going to do something like a setting where there's no fans, and that's going to be their location, and at least until they open it up to their arena series, which is fine. I mean, I understand the promotions are going to, start off slow. I mean, if you'll recall, the UFC tried in California, it didn't work out. They went to Florida, like you said, so maybe that is a spot. But okay, I mean, I'm this time I'm not being nosy. I'm just excited. You know what I mean? I love seeing the fights the last couple days, and I'm a Bellator fan. I'm a PFL fan. I'm a One Championship fan. So I know that this summer it looks like it's starting to build up again. So that's good stuff that you're telling us. July, Car Canyon, somewhere in California. I'm pumped, Myles.
Heck yeah, man, it's awesome, and you know, it's literally we're in a crazy time, and I was just talking to my wife about this, and I was just like, man, props to UFC and Dana White for going out there and putting on these shows and really leading the way for the country, man. I mean, after being at this venue and seeing what all these fighters went through and all the the warriors that stepped out there, man, it just really made me proud to be a mixed martial arts fighter. Nowadays, like literally, we're the gladiators, man. The whole world shut down, scared to come out of their own house, and we're getting out there in a cage and fighting in front of the world. So I was just like, man, props to Dana UFC for leading the way. I believe Bellator is going to be following in those footsteps, having those no audience shows, and I'm just proud to be a mixed martial arts fighter right now, man. Because man, bravo, boys and girls, dude. Because like we're representing, we're putting it on.
Did you get the swab up your nose when you were out there? You were a cornerman technically, so you must have, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I did the blood and the swab. Like literally that swab one sucks. They take this it looks almost like a straw and they stick it up your nose and literally feels like it goes into your brain a little bit. It was brutal, man. I wouldn't want to do that one again.
But not brutal as in pain, just in uncomfortability, right? Or did it hurt?
Yeah, I mean it was awkward. I've never had any tests like that. Like literally it goes up into your sinus and your eyes start, at least for me, my eyes started watering and I just feels like a straw and up your nose into the back of your head. And it sucked.
And then at the same time, when word got around about what had happened to Ronaldo Souza, Jacare, and his team, how how did that affect you? And can you speak on behalf of your teammates? I mean, I know you wouldn't want to make excuses, but how was that feeling around the hotel? And did that shake anybody up? Or like you said, you guys are gladiators, and you just let it go.
Yeah, we're gladiators, man. Me and Jeremy talked a lot about this in camp, and we just talked about, dude, adversity comes in all different forms, and we just keep that winner's mindset. Whatever comes our way, we'll work through it, and that's what it was. There was different protocols on fight week, but we made the most of it. We jammed out. We had an Airbnb. We had our select team around us, our family, and we made the most of it, man.
Last question is the lightweight division. I really feel like Bellator needs to sign a few more fighters to really get this thing charging again. If they can hold on to Michael Chandler, that'd be great. I know they're stuck in a position where Pitbull, the champ, is still participating in the featherweight Grand Prix, so he's kind of tied up, and it's kind of a little bit of a logjam. But what do you think? How do you think this whole thing plays out? And weren't you and Chandler once teammates? Like, I'm pretty sure you guys would fight each other, but um, like, do you guys communicate? Do you want him to stay, or how do you feel about the whole landscape of the division?
I feel like the lightweight division, man, is wide open. I heard rumors that Chandler, this will be his last fight, and I haven't talked to Chandler in a while, but I would trust that he's going to do what's best for him and his family, and whether that means he stays or he goes, that's totally up to him. But for me, I see this division wide open. I see the title wide open right there. And that's why I'm talking to Bellator, man. Like, let's lock up a new contract. We got this next fight coming up, and I've already told them like that I'm next in line for that title shot. I don't care what anybody says. I have a great performance over Georgie. This division's wide open. There's nobody that deserves it. So I might as well be like, hey, everybody's standing around. I'll step up. I'll take it. There's nobody else really there to go. So it's every dog has his day, and I feel like my opportunity's coming, especially with a great win. I'm going to get me a new contract. I'm going to get a shot at that world title, and it's going to be a beautiful time.
Hey, thanks for the time today. I know we kind of made it longer than it usually is for fighters, but we caught up on a lot, and hopefully we can keep in contact more, every fight or so. And thanks for the real estate tips. We really appreciate it.
Definitely, man. Definitely. Anytime, and thank you, boys.
All right. Enjoy your afternoon, and stay safe out there. Take it easy, Myles.
Definitely. You guys too.